Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's carry on this career. I've got a couple more minutes with these glasses on. Luckily, the game isn't too dark. Yeah. But yeah, how's your profile making going, dude?
You're real heroes.
I know.
Kind of routine. As usual, I led the charge.
Oh, this is really dark.
We're fired heroes. Peck's gonna pull our
I could play like
license.
this, I guess.
Get real, Ray. It's the holidays.
Like a sexy librarian.
Nobody in this town's going to be around to pull our license till Monday. We got the whole weekend to stop this calamity and probably half a dozen others.
Oh, I forgot how
Save the
much
city.
to...
We got a 4-day weekend. We have time left for ourselves.
Dr. Vinkman, if they start evacuating
Oh,
Manhattan,
tweaking, yeah,
I won't be
right.
coming in on Monday.
Hang on. Actually need to turn the bot off. Not turn the bot off, I had to like change it from the sound effect page so I could actually see stuff. Ah!
Counts as a floaty holiday. I know. I looked it up.
Gonna grab a drink? No worries, dude. No worries. I've got like, I think like a minute more of these glasses. And then we can find Ray and Egon. Oh shit, double barrel. Okay. Up the apples and pears we go. Have a little sprint, get some exercise. Hopefully that tapeworm will fall out of our butt sooner or later. Oh, not there. Can I play some pool? That would be cool. Let's play some pool. Ray! Egon! Don't know that they're in the shitter. The game's just making effects by itself. Okay, cool. Whee! Cannot close that door. The bugs might get in. Oh, they're here. Oh yeah, because I accidentally started the cutscene last time, didn't I?
What does this symbol mean?
Boom, boom, boom.
Guys.
I think we did watch this cutscene last time,
Perfect
but
fit.
we'll watch it again. Fuck it.
It's not a constellation. It's a mandala.
I can't believe I never saw it before.
Okay, for 1 minute, pretend someone here doesn't know what a mandala is.
Mandala is like a spiritual labyrinth.
And this one looks like a spiraling system that feeds into each successive node along the line until it reaches a culmination point.
Of
Before
course.
he died, Shandor must have set some mechanism in place, similar to the antenna in Dana's building.
You know, I think you helped to make that clearer. So this was the gizmo that's supposed to feed energy to the destructor form?
That's right, Peter.
Oh shit.
Well, Dr. Venkman.
Well, I had to get one right eventually, didn't I? I mean, just math.
Sure.
All right, I'm just
Or
speculating, but
statistics.
it's possible that ghosts
But I
are
suppose
trapped in the
statistics
system,
is
funneled
math.
from node to node, and they get stronger and stronger until they reach the end, and then they...
You got so bored last night you went to bed at like
first
10?
portal,
Damn
the
fair,
left
man.
the
Weren't you
second,
like streaming or
The
anything?
museum. And the third, the Sedgwick.
And that
No, you
means the
weren't.
fourth
Oh, I remember
portal
I was
must
here
be
watching football.
right
I remember keeping an eye
here.
out.
The middle of the Hudson
But hey,
River?
that's good, right?
Well,
You got a
according to the
fuck going to sleep.
mandala,
What time did
yes.
you wake up and shit?
It may need a little tweaking.
Also, I can take these off now.
I don't know. Plenty
Oh.
of bodies in that river.
Ah, that's bright.
Could be kind of gross.
You
But
watch a
what
Yin
does
Yang
this
Master
have
in
to do with
Discord.
me?
Ah, okay, fair, fair.
What did I do?
You were at
woke
the
up
museum
at
and
2?
the Sedgwick.
Well, in the
Maybe
afternoon
some
or the
sort of
morning. I'm
catalyst
guessing the afternoon.
accidentally setting
Hoping at
things in
least.
motion.
I hate those ones where you go to bed early and you
You're
wake
saying
up
this is
like
my
just
fault?
stupid like hour in the
You are
morning.
blameless.
And it was
What
afternoon.
Egon meant to
Damn.
say was
What's that?
You have some sort of connection to this
Like,
thing, and we're going to go back.
16
to the Sedgwick
hours?
and find out what.
That's pretty fucking
Isn't that
decent,
right?
man. How'd you feel? Did you feel more like awake
right,
or
Peter.
just still tired?
Alyssa, do you remember where you were going when you were at the Sedgwick?
I was standing outside a room. 12:21. Something was compelling me to go in, but I woke up just before the door opened.
My mind is
I ran out of
awake.
there as fast
Right,
as
my
I
body
could.
is broken.
And then some
And
jerk
Kobe
tried to
B,
take
how you
me
doing, my
out.
man? You just missed
Okay,
the
you need to
physical.
stay
I
here
just
where
took the
it's
glasses
safe and
off.
You can't set off any more
How you doing, dude?
Shockwaves, hot stuff.
Lovely to see you.
Yeah, read up on the Mandela, and the boys will check out the Sedgwick.
The boys.
But isn't
And what about you,
Have they still
superstar?
not set up Kyle's
I'm gonna
intro
have you
things?
drop me off near Peck's office.
Oh,
Something
Kyle.
tells
Oh,
me
no,
he's
Kyle.
not
I'm so
quite
sorry,
what he
Kyle. What,
seems.
Baku, what
idea.
have you done? What
Meet
have you
us at the
done?
hotel when you're done.
Lovely, lovely cuppa. You did nothing? It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like you're to blame for everything in Kyle's life that's gone wrong.
Whoa. If this place were any more dead,
Which I think you
we
need to be
a
more
coroner.
considerate.
Egon used to be a licensed
Because if
coroner.
you've been the cause of all of his bad stuff, then
No kidding.
Avalanche
It's
fucked
just
you.
a
What's
hobby,
happened? I will be back on tonight as Ernest. I've obviously been off for like quite a while.
Closed until further
Ernest had
notice by
a
the
nice holiday back
Paranormal
home, so
Contact
yeah.
Oversight
But what happened?
Peacock.
Kyle had an interior
Entrance
design
into
problem.
This establishment is
Did
strictly
your house get
forbidden
flooded?
And is punishable by fine and
Or
imprisonment.
what went wrong?
What now?
Also, I've got
This
the model
notice is
of
for
the
the
church, by the
general
way, Carl. I
public.
just haven't
It
fully
doesn't apply to
looked at it
us.
properly.
We're
But
bonded
I think I should be able
contractors for
to
the
change a
city.
few things.
Especially the Ghostbusters.
I'm not sure if the sign was in there or not, actually. But yeah, we can definitely change some
All
things
right,
for
heat
sure.
them up.
But
We'll melt our way in.
Wait, I have a better
oh
idea.
shit, really? 5 hours of work on the church. Oh, have you actually bought the church's warehouse now then?
Good thing.
That's cool, but why was it reset? Do you know why? Is there not a ticket you can put in to try and get it put back to right, or have you already tried that?
Disappointing.
No. Disappointing is the Jets losing in the last 2 minutes. Not being covered in slime by phantom ghouls out to kill us doesn't exactly make me reach for a hand. Why they shut down? You guys didn't bang the place up that bad last time you
Ticket is in. All right,
If
that's
this
good at
place
least.
is a Mandela note, a few
Fuck,
burnt walls and
man,
broken
that's
ceilings are the last
crazy.
thing that anybody's-
And smashed furniture, broken chandeliers.
Think so, I was
destroyed
waiting to hear
paintings,
from Snow.
shattered
Okay.
vases, probably some minor structural damage.
Thanks, Egon.
Damn, man.
My
Yeah, that's
point
pretty
being,
brutal.
there's more to worry
How much did
about
it
than
cost
some
you?
minor
Because it's
cosmetic
basically a warehouse, the church, isn't it?
Definitely a mundane
But yeah, how much did it cost you,
If we
just out
don't
of
shut
interest?
down Shandor's Mandala soon, most of Manhattan will become as vacant as this. Not to mention also becoming a bastion of absolute mind-numbing horror for centuries
Whoa,
to come.
really? Fuck.
I definitely don't lay
That's
out $2
an
grand a month
expensive
for a
warehouse,
square foot
but-
to live in a bastion.
I mean, that price for an actual church overall is not bad. When you think about how much a house can cost in the city and South Side, right near, it's a pretty good spot. Yeah, it's a really good spot. Yeah, man. You're obviously next to the hottest food place in town, which is quite nice. You're just around the corner from Legion. Yeah, to be honest, where my guy, obviously Ernest, he always goes to. I try and get him back to the apartment and start at the apartment. But yeah, if I had the church, I'd probably just always end there, kind of thing. Although I suppose it's harder to park your car. Or does it have a car park garage on it? I don't know if that's a thing. I'm gonna have to remember what the buttons were now. Oh yeah, that's that shot. How did I change to? Okay. Don't remember much of what I had to do now. Okay, that was that one. Cool. We just saw a quick snap off what you were doing, Kyle. Oh, okay. We bowling, bro. Oh shit, yeah. Been grinding away. All of your cars are parked at church. Oh, okay, that's cool. Damn, that is really cool.
It's an ambush. Get 'em hot.
Wait a minute, wait. I don't think they're a threat. They may only be residual hauntings.
I think Ray is right. They haven't crossed entirely into this dimension. They're just
Huh.
psychokinetic echoes. Ghosts of ghosts.
Psychokinetics.
Great. I was hoping to meet a friendly ghost someday, but I'll settle for harmless right now.
There's a strong valence spike higher up in the building.
That might be me.
She was called to the 12th floor. Let's start there.
Okay. Let's go to the 12th floor. Let's shine some light down there just to make sure there's no killer Inuits.
No.
How do I grab again? There we go. That's how I grab.
Can we
Okay,
take
cool.
the stairs?
Well, we can try climbing, but the last time we were here, a level 3 animator took out the bottom of the staircase.
Yeah, that's right. Forgot you weren't here last time, Winston. So no stairs, no elevators. Did you hear something?
Over there. Come on.
Where you guys at? I'm already here.
I think we're dealing with a level 5 anchored ambusher. Be careful.
It went into the stairwell. We've got it cornered.
This is
Equalizing interior.
Hey, Mojo baby!
pressure
How you doing, my man?
atmosphere.
No stairs, no elevators. How you gonna go up? Back upstairs. Alright, Trico! Ah! How you doing,
What are you
Tabloid?
doing here?
How you doing, baby?
Monsters everywhere.
There was another voice. A woman screamed.
He looks like he's
Are
doing
you
a rap
alone?
battle.
Look, I just said ghosts and monsters everywhere. Does that sound like I'm alone?
Wow.
Man,
I was gonna say he's worth $238, but no, that's this.
I think so.
He's not worth anything.
well, I guess that explains it.
That was a great little scream.
These are just shadows, echoes of actual ghosts. They can't hurt you.
Come with us, sir. We can lead you to safety.
Excuse me, I have to reload. Can we? We're not gonna go upstairs. We're just gonna take this nerd out. Oh, Oh shit. That ghost might kill a ghost. Things going beautifully. Cheers,
Someone
man.
you know?
Doing swell.
Don't know. Most of the old staff knows the story of the Spider Witch, a professional widow who did unimaginable
Yeah, I realised I haven't
things in a
streamed in
room
like
on
6
the
days.
12th
It's been a
floor
busy
back
week.
in
It's
the
been a good week, but
1920s.
yeah, man. Plus, fucking England in the finals. Like, what the fuck?
What are you still doing?
That's sick
here?
shit.
Why didn't you evacuate with
First
everyone?
England final, I think first England final definitively for a like competition in our entire lifetimes.
That means we're trapped now too. And
I
we have
don't
to
think we have anybody who's a viewer who is old enough to have been at the
Not
60s,
necessarily.
like when we won it.
Core is
But
apparently the core of this node. If we can get the power back on, we can
a
take
professional
the
widow.
elevators.
If the elevators don't.
Yeah, man.
Yes. if
You know
the
how some
elevators
people
don't.
can be really good at something, they can go
Where
pro.
are the circuit
That's
breakers
what she
for this
did.
place? We don't have a lot of time.
Breakers.
And Sky
In my
baby,
office.
how you doing, my man?
Came and turned
No
off
days I
all
haven't
of
been
our
streaming.
power. The
Yeah,
electric
I'd been going on a few dates with this girl. We are like we're dating now. We've been seeing each other for like 3 weeks or so now. But yeah, so yeah, but basically
Perfect.
like we went away for a night somewhere together. Been hanging out a good amount as well. So between basically that and the European football matches, I've been pretty busy. But yeah, it's been going really fucking well, to be fair. Yeah. Felicia. Are we going to be killing something right now? But yeah, I'm basically I'm planning to try and do a bit more of a schedule because like I still plan to obviously keep streaming everything. I just need to use my time a bit more wisely. But yeah, no, I've been it's been good, man. It's been a oh shit. It's been a good while since I had this sort of shit go down like in this way, so it's nice. Oh shit! I've been trying to hold the fort down, nice. You ain't even allowed in the taco shop. Actually, I'd never deprive somebody of food from the taco shop, you know. You still can't believe England are in the final, and Einar's on the... Oh, that's true. Einar was at the very first World Cup, full stop. You're right, yeah, good point. But yeah, right, man, it's really weird, because I didn't really... like, I didn't really care about England in this competition for the most part. And then we got to the quarters, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't even watch... I didn't watch the Germany match. And I've just been watching them, like, obviously the last couple, like this quarter and semis. But, yeah, it's good, man. I think Italy will probably do us hard, but, yeah. Happy Fizz, organised Fizz, I know, man. Times are changing, hey. I mean, I say organised,
Guess some of them
who knows. Hell is freezing over, right? Little piggies taking flight and shit.
Now, let's find that backup generator.
The kitchen. Is it through here?
Yes, just down
Okay.
the hall.
And so I've been clearly been defending it in your absence. Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, you were helping like 5-0 and shit. Yeah, I didn't watch the Germany match. That was what like one of the I'm thinking of the host, my man. That was one of our like date nights. So like, which I think's a big, you know, pretty big. Like fobbed off the Germany match for that. So, I laughed at this dude, not what I'd said. He's got a great little thing. But yeah, then the last two matches I kind of had to make sure I saw, and the final I have to obviously make sure I very much watch that. There we go, thank you. Organised enough to impress.
Hello?
That's it, yeah.
Anyone there?
All right, guys, spread out. Utility room.
But yeah, I've been very much taking it, and it's been a pretty
I know I've
nice
said this before. but be
experience.
careful. I don't think we're alone.
I think we're alone now. There doesn't seem to be any ghosts around. Oh wait, I can use that my gun, right? Alright, sick. The England team in the group stage and the knockout stage is like two different teams. Yeah, really are, man. Yeah, they were fucking shit. Like, the reason I didn't watch the Germany match was because I was like, we're blatantly going to lose that shit. I'm not going to waste a night on England when I could, you know, be having a better night. So, yeah. Does she like good music? Yes. Like, insanely, like, good. Like, I mean, to the level that, like, she knows, like, all of, like, the folk artists I love, like Bert Jantz, like John Martin and that. She knows like a lot of the songs that are like underground. Oh, and get this right, into garage and shit, into Corrupt FM and like People Just Do Nothing. We had a good chat about that. Like the other night, we were just cooking, doing some like listening to some garage. good shit. Yeah. But yeah, no, like, I've probably never met any human that's got as similar likings to a lot of the music I like. Just like a lot of the songs that like, a lot of the smaller songs that I like that I didn't think anyone had heard of, like, yeah. That's a big plus as well, like very big plus. I found it difficult to actually, like, a lot of my past relationships, we've liked some music crossovers, but most of it's been like, you know, it didn't really click on music as such. But this one's completely different than that one. Also, I missed a bunch of chat. If I fucked up a mess match like for products, there's some points for that notable sacrifice, right? Still don't forgive my nephew for making me Mr. FA Cup final for his stupid birthday. What birthday? I mean, even a birth would be a bit of a push, but birthday, come on. Am I going to be using this, by the way? Yeah. Yeah, man, that's it. She's on that. That was good shit. That's we've been mainly obviously just like hanging out and get to know each other on that. Like, we haven't actually watched much TV or anything yet. You know, like we've been like, you know, just doing other shit. But like, the only thing we have watched is we started a watch of people just doing nothing together already. Mainly in preparation for the movie coming out as well, to be honest. Yeah. And she has two. I know she has more than what's really expected of people nowadays, but yeah, she still has two hands, but you know that could change. You know, I don't want anybody to change for me necessarily, but hands are something you can get rid of and not really worry about. You know. No, she has 5 feet. Yeah. That's good, exactly. She's going to be lurking around in chat soon enough. Well, she knows my stream name, and I have shown her clips. So, because I was like, she hasn't watched like Twitch before, so I was like trying to like explain to her about what Twitch was and stuff on our dates. But Twitch is kind of, although you can get like the broad strokes across, it's kind of difficult to really get everything across that Twitch does, you know. So like, I haven't shown her a full VOD or anything yet, but I showed her a couple of clips. Like I showed her a Cuphead clip, and Baku Burning Alive clip. I showed her that one as well, just to sort of show her what kind of shit we do, I guess. But where the fuck am I meant to be going, man? Like, am I meant to be murdering? I think I might just shoot the place. Yeah, I don't know why I'm talking. Let's just shoot the place up. Okay, I think that's right. Yeah. God help her. Yeah, right. I've been talking more and more about the streaming, but like the streaming bit was the bit I was like, this is going to be the hardest to actually talk about. Like everything else is like easy, but streaming's a weird thing that you kind of have to like show. But yeah, I only showed the Cuphead clip, like it was the two top ones, I guess, the Cuphead clip and the the Baku Burning Alive one. Yep, your reputation's already tarnished. That's it. Yeah, the quotes. That's going to be one. Hey, yeah. I'm definitely not knowing where I should be here. Although I don't feel like I've ran down this corridor before, have I? Maybe this door will let me do something? No? Well, fine, I'll blow your shit up. Okay. Dodging a Doki Doki Lit Club clip. I've never played that. I mean, I probably clipped some of yours maybe, but just got to know a competition. That's true. She can leave once she sees she can't cook a Tiger Mouse Empire to kitchen, right? Yeah. that's yeah, that could very much happen. You've never been friends for... Yes, but... I mean... You met the last one a couple of times. And I dated one of your friends once, Bax. So, like, you knew them, I guess. But I guess your friend I didn't date for long at all, to be fair. And... Yeah, I think my last ex, you only met once or twice, right? Been better right now. Oh, buddy. Well, hopefully we can do some dumb shit. Hopefully I can progress in this game, Kyle, and you can see some fun stuff. But no promises. I am a little stuck. So the bug shot doesn't spread fire. Bullshit! Unless it spreads like toxic venom, then that's alright, I guess. Maybe this is where I'm gonna go. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. Has she my collection of heads yet? Has she seen I have like I have a Predator mask, you know, from the movie Predator, in my bedroom. My sister got me one for like years ago. It's like a wooden mask about that big. It's sick. But she's seen Nat, which is like a head, so a little bit.
Look, Cadet found the emergency
I mean, she's
generator.
found my like I've shown her like some of my Lego and shit, my comic collection and stuff. Like, if that shit hasn't scared her off, I think I'm good.
Right, John, but you should know I'm keeping score.
What did I say?
There's a lot of water on the floor. Watch out for static. Ah, sweet music.
Oh. Friends. I don't know what that bill's for. I've already missed it. Just bring my trees back. Did you put trees in your church? Gives Carl a snuggle with an extra snug. Ah, isn't that sweet? Okay, I'll get the wire out of the water. Then.
I know this much. We're trapped down here like rats until that cable's out of the water.
How about some slime tethering?
Okay, well I was trying to use the thing that teleports stuff, but oh, slime tethering, yeah. Oh, did I miss? Missed again. Good stuff. Let's just line this up. One button. God damn it! How I keep missing this shit. I'm trying to tether it up. Is that the wire, or am I at the wrong place? That is the wire, right? It won't. Keep shooting past it.
Pull it out of there.
I'll pull your mum out of there, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sweet sky. Oh. She doesn't know about my love of all things anime. Oh yeah, my great love. She's 82 years old. Yeah. It was actually quite cool. We were in the exact same year at the exact same college, and we have a crazy amount of crossover friends. All of like the people I was in a band with, she went to like school and like secondary school with and shit. We just never properly met in college, so it's been quite the trip on that front as well. Yeah, crazy amount of like friend spinach, basically like friends and stuff over the years. Can I just hit this goddamn thing? I don't think I can. Is this the wire that they want from me? What do they want from me? I swear to God. Is it this, maybe? Oh, it fucking was as well. Okay, Jesus Christ. Where's the electricity? I think that was where the electricity was. And everything.
Come on, kid.
The elevator.
His warhouse.
Unless something.
I hope that was an unintentional. Oh, hello. I hope that was an unintentional typo, and it's not. You've not just named it the warhouse. Oh come on! I wanted to see if the rat could go there. Oh no, it was free. It's free. So we met on Bumble, dating app. So it's basically a dating app where like the woman has to message first. So she like yeah, messaged, and then we just like from there just met up and stuff. Went for like coffee and that. Went on a few dates, a few other places and that, and yeah, just been doing good. Yeah. Am I even shooting the right people? Oh, with the right gun even? Have you seen someone back here? And it was a typo, by thank fuck. Woo. I'm doing great, thanks, man. I'm zapping. Ooh, ah, zapping ghosts. Oh shit. The last woman who bought off the internet turned out to be a life-size doll mid-sentence. The woman has to message first. Does it exist? Yeah, man. Yeah. Bumble. It's pretty decent. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm only saying it's decent because you know I've had a good result from it and shit. But like, yeah, I think it's much better than like Tinder and shit. Like, you get to. There's a lot more like prompts and shit. So you can do like what is happening here? So you can do like 2 questions, two truths, 1 lie, that type of thing. There's also you can put like quotes from friend Kyle. Kyle was actually on my profile. So there was a thing where it's like review from a friend, So I basically put on I thought of a quote that Kyle said yonks ago, where it was like the perfect blend of educated and dumb or something like that. So I literally just copied that quote. I thought that was pretty accurate. So yeah, GG Kyle, you might have helped me there, you know. It's kind of cool. It has dating, friends, and business sections. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's got like a few different things. So you can do, like, you can go for relationships. You can go on hookups. You can do business, just friendship. You know, it's pretty broad. But you can put what you want as well. So it's still like it doesn't have to be like ambiguous. You know, you put what you want on there. Like if you're just searching for friendship or what. Hey, and yeah, how you doing, my man? Lovely to see you, dude. I missed what your comment said, so let me just check up on that. It still holds back likes and tries to get you to spend money and shit. Yeah, totally, yeah. I mean, it's still, like, dating apps on themselves are still naff, you know. I'm glad to not be on it anymore, but it also does work at times, you know. And has it come home yet? One more game, my man. Sunday. It's going to be beautiful. Hit the Rumble was pretty decent today. Right? Yeah, I know. That's it. Well, again, I've had good luck on it, so I'm happy with it. But, like, at the same time, it's one of those apps where now it's succeeded. I've deleted it, so, yeah. You can't do first moves. Just cancel Bumble might for you. Okay, Bumble should sponsor me at this moment in time. But, yeah. Like, yeah, man, totally. Honestly, it's just, like, it's so much better. Like, yeah, I mean, I had the odds, like, you know, on Tinder I had the odd matches and stuff, but like it rarely actually like led to proper like conversations or anything, you know. So it's a lot nicer actually having like the chick pull the first message, you know. But yeah, you should give it a go for sure. I missed shit again. My god. Oh, Kyle never answered your grinder message. Kyle, stop ghosting Mojo on the homosexual dating apps, okay? Use my quote. Okay, nice. Yeah, my quote for Bakura was, little pervert, big heart. Makes sense. I'm the reason for everything positive in your life, Fizzle. You're welcome. That's true. And what mouse do I have? I have a Trust GXT 111. Not 3, 111. Not I 111. So 111. It's alright. It's a pretty budget one, I think. Oh, and I am meant to be doing stream raiders, yes. Oh, and Bakura, the Red Dragon mouse, is that the one you have, Bakura? I thought the come home thing didn't make sense for this tournament because England have never won it before. Well, the trophy's coming home now. It's coming to our home. Yeah. And that's it. Thanks for popping that out, Backchat. Except they're in the finals for the first time in the Euro, so that's it, exactly. Hey, how you doing, Enz dude? Thank you for posting that as well. Is that the Corsair Schmitter? That sounds like, that's a sword, right? You gotta be careful using swords for a mouse. Nope, wrong gun. Ah, you bitch! Okay. Yeah, I was thinking, I do want to get like a new mouse and keyboard myself at some point. I probably want a new keyboard first because this one's a bit bad now. But my mouse is alright. It's not got any special DPIs in that, but I'm not like, I don't play MMOs or like all that many like FPS shooting games. A few. I suppose I play more FPS games than I used to, but. Oh, you slut! Ah. Where'd he go? Scimitar! Okay, sorry, scimitar. Yeah, Schmitter. Will you stop fucking slapping me, you piece of shit? Donkey brained dickhead. Get inside! Where did I change guns? I don't want to scan it. I don't care. I just want to get them in their hole. I want to Happy Gilmore this shit. Okay. How did he say it? Not well. I didn't say it well. I don't say lots of topics, Mojo, romance. It's just one of them. Whoa. Do you understand the topic of I don't know, house care? Why does my thing keep swapping? It's one of my buttons. No. I don't know why my gun keeps switching. I'm not touching anything that should do it. And then you're looking at a G502. Okay. Looks into the keyboard. I got Fizzle. It's real nice. Okay, yeah, yours looked pretty cool to be fair. And I know you were using the same keyboard as me before that, so I would get a very similar like upgrade feel to it as you got for sure. K100 keyboard from Corsair. Okay, K100 nice shift K68. Right. Okay. That's what my keyboard is doing. Yeah, my current keyboard is a Roccat Soror, I think. I got it from Maplin. It's a mechanical keyboard. I got it from Maplin for when they were still a company that operated. Got it for like 50 quid, which was pretty good for a mechanical keyboard, and it's held pretty well. This kitchen is not clean. This kitchen's fucked, mate. You want Einan's dogs? Oh man, Einan's dog pictures have been insane recently. He's basically just on like a full-on. He's just a dog man now. He just gets to play with dogs all day, every day. Einan's living the fucking dream. Get a dog walking gig? Yeah, but the difference is, see, Einan's walking around in nice places. Mojo would have to walk about in Manchester. Even with dogs, you don't really want to be walking around in Manchester too much, you know. How goes like a dragon? Well, hey Mocha, how you doing today? Lovely to see you. I saw you change your name to Mocha FX, and I thought that was like the new channel name, but it wasn't. How you doing? Welcome. Loving 4 at the moment. 4 dragons? Oh, you're talking to Enzimo about Yakuza. That's what's happening right now. Yeah. Scream for me again. He screamed before and it was delightful.
Okay, it looks like the psychomass has come to
Just same channel, right? Okay, yeah. Certain boss has turned up and ruined your day. You can't beat him. Nice. Now you got 0, 1, 2, and 3. Oh yeah, I've got 0, but that's it, I think. It would be moved to a current day job, and it'd be in some shitty little city park. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Go to the 12th floor. Winston and I will check out the 14th.
Boop.
Sir, if you'll please come with us.
Fine, but stay in contact. This place is extraordinarily dangerous.
Can you run? Somebody just run away like a bitch. That's fair. Yeah, we still need to get to that bloody higher level. Keep on reaching higher grounds. What's going on here then? So, continental breakfast. It's 6 to 10:30. They have well, they had croissants, jam, and some other stuff, but now I'm not allowed to see. So yeah, shit, no smoking. You have to be in just like 15 levels higher than your party, so you have to grind a lot. Damn. Think about it later when you've leveled up your muscle. Yeah, that's fair, yeah.
Why do we keep seeing new ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of the mandala as a city bus line.
Okay.
At the bus station, ghosts or waiting passengers are drawn into the system here
Yeah.
and trapped. This concentrates their PK energy, which is then eventually forced through to the next node or station, and so on until it all ends at a final terminus. At each successive bus station, the station manager absorbs some of the energy. This makes the station manager or node guardian
That was,
stronger, so that it can keep the
some
ghosts
sign
in
language.
line and destroy anyone who comes to the station to interfere with the flow. These nodes, or bus stations, gather the power used to feed a central point, thus creating a much bigger threat to our world. Does that make more sense now?
Sure.
ETTC. Totally Trapped Transit Company.
I tend to try and clear all side stuff before my missions, so usually OP on games that get to bosses. Still right though. Yeah, that's
When
it.
is my performance review again?
I didn't know Yakuza actually gets like difficult. I kind of thought it was just like a silly game. I know it had fighting in it. Oh hello, it's the professional widow.
That was
Hey, mighty baby! How you doing, my man? And I think she does suck. She seems to murder people. Good call. Good call, mighty. Shit, man, some of the boss fights in Yakuza are well hard. Okay. Today. Life is good.
to get a significant fix.
Good. I'm doing splendid. Cheers, man. Damn good to see ya. That $1,300 damage was for
Got some more
you.
information on the Spider Witch ghost.
Yeah, Sokka's working now. I think it just didn't like you, Bakura. Maybe it was like, you have no right to say someone sucks. Maybe you need to get your shit into gear and try again. Almighty apparently is allowed to tell people they suck.
Blood. Furniture was half chewed and crushed and piled in a corner like a giant nest.
She seems to have vandalized the room badly too.
Room.
I don't want to be hung from a ceiling and drained of blood.
Ceiling.
I'll tell you this much. I
What could it all
do
mean?
not want to be found in a bad state or vandalized.
I think that sentiment is unanimous.
A big dummy. That's true.
Are you ready?
See, that's probably on a cooldown now, Bakura, because Almighty just did it. Yeah, you did too soon. Now you won't know. Do 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 do. Oh. Hello. Hello. Oh shit! It's fancy bedspread. Not a good table though. Most tables should know about blasts. What about chairs? See, they got a decent chair, but they cheaped out on that chair by the looks of it. Okay, let's start the fire. Hey, a little fire. Newbie started the fire.
Are you ready?
I don't know where you boys are. I can hear you saying, "Are you ready?" But where are you? It doesn't really like much. Oh, you're over here. Let's go. Where you gone? Hey, and welcome back, Sky Dude.
Ray, come in.
Yeah, what's up?
What was the Spider Witch's room number?
1221. After her spree, it was locked up until about 5 years ago when we remodeled.
Had your second jab yesterday. Nice. First one had no effect other than ache around the injection site. Second one kicked your ass. Really? You had to go to bed at halftime, watch the rest on your phone. Damn. Yeah. See, the first one I felt a little knackered at the end of the night, and my arm was sore for a few days. Second one, I didn't feel anything like at all. Interesting. Yeah. Second one. By the time I left, I didn't like. If someone had said to me like, "You didn't actually get the injection," I would believe them. I didn't have any feel from it. Couldn't even tell where the site it was injected at.
Get out of here!
Oh shit, spiders!
We're not alone in here.
What kind of bastard brings spiders? Ghosts are fine, but spiders? It's a bit dickish. I am not a fan of spiders. They'll stay off dickheads and they're not really needed now. Ah! Fuck off.
Multiple contact! Dog!
Why am I shooting him? That's it, bring back the ghost lady. Someone's to do that after your vasectomy. Hell yeah. You just didn't want to rest your arm, you needed to rest something a bit different after that one.
Not even utilizing a portal. This is very bad.
Oh, I can just do that. Shit, I could have done that before, right? You're leaving due to spiders. Yep. Yep, I will join you. I don't want to be here. What just... Fucking hell, I pressed R and that went dark. Was fine at kickoff. By halftime you felt dead and weak like you had a bad fever. Fine today other than whole body aching. Damn, dude. And yes, I'll 100% be at the taco shop later, yeah. That's true, actually, yeah. Yeah, I will be. I'm planning on, after Ghostbusters, I'll be going on to RP as Ernest, and yeah, we're going to have a good old taco night. I haven't been there for a week, so I don't know if I need to go do some supply runs and stuff, so I might have to do... I might need to do some lettuce picking, I might need to do some hunting, and I might need to do some fishing. But may not. There may still be more stock. And I know some people had been buying fish and waiting for Ernest to be around. So he may even have ones to be sold to him yet still. Nice fresh taco, cooked off the grill, not in a microwave. Yeah, we don't even have a microwave.
That's trouble. Get out of here. Let's keep moving.
Alright, so the slime does pretty good against spiders. Oh shit, hang on, I haven't upgraded anything in like a year. Probably 12 years actually. Okay, so I think I've done most of these, right? I fucked off the shock ones because I don't really use the shock ones. Slime tether, Sun Collider. Ryan started the fire. Okay. Let me just see here. Do RP gangsters run extortion rackets on the business? Yeah. This would just call 5-0 if that was the case. Somebody did try and rob me without a mask on in the shop after a policeman had been in the shop with them and was the last person seen with them. And I was just like, why would you? Like, I was like, and I literally had no money on me. I was like, I literally have no money on me. I was like, the till doesn't work. What do you want from this? Like, what's happening? There is a mafia in town. They're called a black mafia. They're not organised enough to extort. Nice, okay.
Let's keep moving.
That doesn't always lead to good things, though. Yeah, local mafia are bums in. Some big dogs should move into territory. Maybe you should get that PC mojo and get on it, my man. Yeah, it was like the first day as well. I think they were like, oh yeah, so you can obviously afford it now. I was like, no, well, it's all costs a lot of money still. But the thing is, yeah, everyone to pay, they do bank transfers. So it's like, well, you ain't getting shit. Give you a can of Coke, but what the fuck is that?
Come on.
Okay. Get out of the way, bin bags. Get out of the way, that. Although, I kind of need to... This isn't the door, is it, Egon?
Let's keep moving.
But yeah, they should have shut up the place for not paying protection. Well, basically, I just like I talked him down. I was like, I don't know your name. You know, I have don't know your name. You haven't taken anything, so there's nothing to report. You know. Although he had pointed a gun at me, but I allowed that. Where did Egon go?
Are you ready?
I don't know. I don't know where you are. You down here? Talk dirty to me. Well, he's strapped. Yeah, they did have a gun on them, yeah. The peace fam. Shop, yeah. And is it legal for you to carry a gun in the store for self-defense? I actually could, yeah, like, I mean, cops have even told me to bring one before because of the locals. Because, like, the actual, you know, computer game character locals, sometimes will shoot up the shop. But it's not really fitting with my character. Like, like, Ernest has a gun, but he only uses it for hunting deer. You'd never use it against a human. I think he'd just throw up for about an hour if he had to. Yeah, but it's based on the state of California, so I think you're allowed it for protection and stuff, but let's keep moving. I mean, where are you? And I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know where I am anymore. Egon, I've walked the whole way out. Egon, where are you? Why must you run away from me in the spider place? It's the worst place to run away from me from. Baku needs to go gambling again. I'd quite like to go to the casino again, actually. I did terrible last time, but I only wasted like 5 grand. I don't know if I have... Yeah, Ernest hasn't got any dough, I don't think, at the moment, really. I don't even care about that bit. I just want to find my way out. Egon! There you are, you son of a bitch. Let's go! Where'd you just go? Where? Oh. Run! Come on, don't keep asking me if we're ready. Show me the way. Oh shit! They're making noises.
That's good. Keep
Oh, they're behind me too? Motherfucker, Egon! I get my back, you bitch!
not entirely without scientific reasons.
Jesus, Egon.
1220, 1222. No 1221. Where is it? 1221 has to be here.
Yeah? Probably behind there, right?
Never trust the naked eye in this work. I'm sure it's here, even if we can't see it.
Oh, okay.
Good thinking. It was here all along.
Right. Huh. I can go for it now.
Well, this looks inviting.
Nice. As the sheriff of the taco shop, I'll keep you safe. I spotted down that piece as soon as I gave me the ocular pad down at the door. Nobody messes with the whack. Well, that's it. I mean, like, obviously I haven't been on the RP as much recently, but I have been wanting to actually hire some people to the taco shop, as taco shop employees, but then they go do hunting. Like, certain people just do hunting. Certain people maybe to do security. So, like, if they're around, they can just come to the shop and do security for the day, but get paid through the job kind of thing. Although I can, obviously, if I wanted, I could hire a private firm. But, if I remember rightly, the dude who was running, like, Blackwater Security, or, if that's what it's called, I think he stopped doing that now. So I don't know if there is a security company anymore beyond, like, just, like, gangs and stuff, you know. These people just hanging out. Let's get them a bit closer. Ah! Alright, let's bring a third to the party. It won't let me. Alright, third. Oh, third's on their own. Sorry, buddy.
I don't like the look of this, but we've run out of options.
Oh, let's connect these ball sacks together. That's nice. I feel afraid. When two lamps go to war. Blackwater's no more. Okay, back when Enzo have been training. Yeah, I don't know if I trust you guys as security. I feel like you're the guys that I might need security from occasionally, so... But, I mean, if they turn their business to that, and they were good at it, then maybe I would hire them every now and then. If said need. Or is it? Yeah. I'd like to have one of your characters be a guy who just hangs out in the desert taking drugs all day, but you know that when someone showed up, you wouldn't be able to think of anything cool to say. You don't have to. Like, I mean, like, some of the best bits is when, like, you've got someone else who's doing the story, but like, you're just playing it, like, completely straight, you know, like... you can go into it just, like, try and be, like, normal with it, but, like, you'll quite often find other characters who will draw you into a story or bring stuff out, you know, for your character as well, in a sense. Children Forest are the business. How is that a business? How are you making money from that? I know you've obviously spent money because you got a warehouse, but how do you make, like, I know you could make money the normal ways, but how are you making money particularly? How is it a business? How is the Children of the Forest part the business, rather than whatever you do to make the money for stuff, you know? Business secrets? Yeah, but... I mean, that's not very good for a business. The business should at least be... If you're trying to get business from people, you should at least be telling people what the business is, right? Otherwise, why would... Like, you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not in your business. Yeah, but... yeah. I'm fine with that. It doesn't seem like there is a business. I mean, I have my own business. My business rhymes with, Bacco.
Heads up!
Spider, spider! Oh, he's got to be a giant spider, hey? Alright, well that gun's doing sweet fuck all. Oh! What? Oh, it's over there. Stop it. Stop being a dickhead, spider. Okay, that gun also seems fairly shit. Oh, the slime, maybe. Maybe I can tie her up. Stop making her disappear, I need to zap her. Okay, gun's also shit. All the guns are shit against this spider. Ha 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 ha!
Growing stronger. Don't let it power up.
Interrupt her feeding. Keep pressing the wrong goddamn button to...
Blast it!
Ow.
That's it. Don't let it recharge.
Man, they keep like changing my gun. Like for these, like the next
Keep it up,
sections.
kid.
I will read chat in just a moment. I've got to finish of this spider bastard. Bastard? No, that didn't work. Come, where are you? Imagine you were some sort of spider chicken. Where are they? Oop. Can't go down there, okay. Okay, let me just quickly see what chat's saying, because I still can't find this person. If someone gets killed and the only witness is the victim, when they respawn, can they recall that memory and testify, etc.? No, not if they've had to like take the light or like hit the time, right? If they were saved in time by an EMS, then potentially. How do people get caught up in witnesses, other cameras and stuff? Some crimes give alerts to the police that it's going down, but a lot of the time, unless someone reports it, the police are not going to know necessarily, yeah. Determine if you are killed. If someone is shooting, you can play it off as getting shot in the leg, yeah. You wouldn't give a chance to it up it. Yeah. It's cool. It's like a turn-based dice roll thing, just come up with the outcome between you. Yeah, you have to like, they basically like, you have to roll with it, yeah, like, you're not roll as in roll dice, but like, yeah, the outcome is always going to be determined by how you interact with the person and how that person's interacting with you, also. Yeah, I saw that, yeah. No idea why. But yeah, I saw that it permitted him.
Multiple contact.
I'm getting hit by baby shits. Okay, cool, we got it. That was for serving proper. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, the idea of like RP isn't to like try and win and get as much money as you can kind of thing. So like, often the time in RP it is about taking a loss. If the criminals have a hostage, the police will make a trade and then make charges. Yeah, they wouldn't just storm and police you play. Yeah, like so. Yeah, the idea is you keep it like, although it's obviously fun and it's obviously gonna be more out there than a lot of normal life. It's still meant to be kept like, you know, realistic. So yeah, if there's potential, you know, hostages, you're not gonna risk their lives, kind of thing.
What happened? You all right?
The recruit found the 13th floor and we shut it down. PKE levels are back to acceptable parameters. This node of the mandala is
Okay, let's get into the full 13th floor elevator.
Where are you? We went back down to the 12th floor and couldn't find
There's
anything.
some
Everything
tunes.
seems pretty normal.
Looks like we're back in the Ruby Ballroom.
But they were breached the bank store at times. Oh. Guess it depends if they like the hostage or not.
Egon, remind me, why are we...
Oh yeah, and then if they're in danger, I guess, yeah. Did the dude just try to get a taco shop get arrested? No, I didn't report him. Basically, because he walked away, I stuck to my word. I didn't call the police, kind of thing. Nothing actually went down in the end, kind of thing.
You were saying?
Shandor Island. It's here.
Like, don't get me wrong, I understand no snitch, but if someone's trying to murder him, then he will try and protect himself with the police. Chaos mod on GTA RP would be hilarious. Like I had a thought that it'd be really funny if like just one person had chaos mod on and it only affected them, so everybody else just saw normal. Like, so if there was like Doomsday, they didn't see it. The cars exploding might be different, but then just play it off as like this dude's got like major flashbacks and like does way too much acid. But yeah, chaos mod does work on 5M. I just don't know how you could get it. I mean, you probably could get it server wide, but it'd be, I don't know, that would be hectic, right? The amount it'd have to actually do.
The Shandors owned this island for generations. The castle was built in
Was like one of those things in the film, it's not too late to walk away. Don't throw yeah, literally, yeah, I was literally like, I was like, it's not, yeah, I think I even said it's not too late, just walk away. Oh, what did I say? I was like, look, I don't know your name, you know? You haven't technically done anything. Feel free to, you know, you can just walk away. But then I was like, but look, man, you need to think about things. You know, if you're trying to make money, robbing a small taco shop's not going to get you anywhere. You know, I was like, go do some mining or something. You know, like it's small time for you. You know, you're better than this. Lord of the Rings music in Ghostbusters. I don't think it was it? I wasn't paying attention, I guess. So possibly was. The mob says supports 5M. Okay. Think making a therapist character? That'd be cool. You could get started in the EMS as well, like, hopefully my Dr. Buckleby Lursit doesn't get, like, fired, because I haven't been on with him for a while, but, like, the idea of him was, that I have him as EMS, but then once we get more people, he'll become an actual resident doctor rather than a paramedic.
Make the world a better place.
Resident Evil franchise out, ah, nice.
So the fossilized
Oh yeah, I missed the entire Steam sale, so, don't think there's anything else desperate for, though. Applying for medical at the moment, they're only taking on emails. Yeah, that's it. Some people want to be dogged, some no, they're only like, yeah, that's it. Right, now let's...
Well, I don't see any controls on that crane. How can we get it to move?
Oh, maybe with my gun.
Hey, what about the slime pit?
Oh, no, not the gun that moves stuff. I've got to use slime instead. Good times. Fun times.
Let's go. Good idea.
Look at that. Rookie moved the crane.
All right, swing it around.
Almost. Work it over this way to cover the hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm working it really well. Doesn't want to do that, hey? Okay. Yeah, Pugman needs to be on duty at least once a month to keep his job. Yeah, that's true. Ariel and Honeycutt both got let go for being inactive. Oh, really? Was it Ariel Hernandez? I swear last time I was on, they were on. People can't get skilled because they bleed out on time authority, so to alert. Yeah, you press a button when you're down, basically, for them to come to you, yeah. Seems quite different from therapist. Yeah, but it'd probably still fall under, like, the doctor side just because of what the city needs more, I guess. Do you need more or what? Like... I thought that was the gap I had to cover. So you're surviving can identify the perp. Well, if you call, like, you can call the medic, and if the medic gets to you in time, yeah, you can remember stuff. But if you're, if you basically pass a certain timer, then, like, you basically don't. You can't remember anything, or that's meant to be, like, the main thing. MS3 didn't roll from therapist, but it's the only medical role available. Yeah, that's it, yeah. If they are wearing masks, you can identify them. Unless they've been really bait with it, like, if they're in clothes that you know and they don't, like, you know, certain things, like, although I know not everyone's going to put on a different voice, you kind of have to play it by ear, but if someone's being really obvious that, like, who they are kind of thing, I don't know, like, if they're giving away, like, hey, do you remember that time we went fishing last week? And you know you only went fishing with one person, then you could be like, well, that's clearly you then, right, you dickhead? Yeah. You can 911 as a local, but I think, yeah, I mean, if you're handcuffed and shit, then, you know, you can't really do that as well, but it depends on the situation, I guess. You RP deaf as not being deaf a lot. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. At least like standard RP rule set, so someone on this server who's just... So they do, this the server does have its own rules, but a lot of them are like, they are quite general to RP overall kind of thing. Yeah, that's it. You cannot identify voice ID people if they're wearing a mask. Well, I never have, but like, but if somebody's like being really obvious in the sense that they're saying like if it's like, say Brian and Sin, they live together. So if Sin turns around to Brian whilst with a mask on and says like, yeah, so when we get back to our house later, what we're gonna have for dinner, or like starts playing it like that, then I feel like you could have doubt. Oh, it's this hole they want it at. Okay, that makes sense. Or CSS people have to use voice changes. Okay, fair. Yeah, I've not had to identify anybody anyway, thankfully, but... You like pretending like you don't know? Yeah, I mean, the people that I've seen in most people that well, everyone I see in masks, I will be like, oh, hello, kind of thing, I don't know who you are kind of thing, until they announce it, but yeah. Ooh, look at that curve.
Almost there. Whoa. Great.
Yo, new guy.
Good work.
Thanks, yo. I love being a part of the Ghostbusters. Busting makes me feel good. Hey, and hats, baby! Well, stop getting kidnapped, jeez. Brian is a heathen. They did say heads up.
Oh! You alright?
What's with you? You know you only get paid.
Chill, Winston.
Recruit, you okay?
I'm fine. Winston was the one who was hit. He's a heathen, though. That's crazy. He's more of an independent... Oh! Oh, independent practice. That could be cool.
Careful, we don't wear helmets.
What kind of therapist would you be?
Too much dangerous debris falling in here. I've got to take Marine
But go for it. I mean, I think that's the thing with a lot of RP. It's just, if you have an idea, just go for it. You know, see how it goes.
Really bad.
I see.
We once watched him brutally attack Sin.
Now
Yeah.
Captain Ahab. Be careful.
She wasn't keeping up her part of the mortgage, maybe. Yeah.
Find a place where Ray can put him to get
Brian is a saint? I have never heard of Saint Brian. That's a dumb name for a saint.
My apartment used to look
In my a room in my own house with a separate entrance. Okay, and one of those clochets. Oh yeah, yeah, one of the like weird couches that don't look comfortable to sit on. Like why they do that to people in therapy? Christ knows. I mean, do they actually have those? Probably not, right? We went hunting Sin and I looking over a deer and Brian comes. Oh yeah, I do remember you saying that he shanked her quite militantly. Yeah. Didn't he scream, "It's been a long time coming," or something like that, you know?
Well, that doesn't sound good.
Yep. She got in front of your deer?
Open door. Hey, we know those guys.
Oh. Damn it, change my gun again. Oh, these are the ones I got slam. Jam. Thank you, man. Oh shit, I caught that one. That was cool. Ow!
They attacked us in Times Square.
Okay, let's upgrade. And. We'll take that.
They're gargoyles.
Pretty much a therapist in story mode.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, there is actually, yeah. Something like the Taco remembers. Something. Oh shit, that's what Hat said. Okay, yeah. Are you still doing the Doctor character? I am, but I haven't done him in a while. I was gonna do him before Ernest, but like I haven't done too much of the taco shop since it's been like fully upgraded, so I kind of need to do that, just because of the amount of work that's been put in as well.
That's a lot of whatever they are.
I thought not yours. Honestly, don't know what you'd go for with a character. You'd have to think over a lot. I think the best thing a lot of time on it is just to make a character and go for it, see what happens, kind of thing. Like, because you'll often be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, have this as my story, and go this route, and then like within 10 minutes, you change. You know, that changes just because of something that happens anyway. You know. Yeah, that's it. Just start as a civ. Yeah, that's it, and just see where it goes. Because then you can be a crim, you can go apply for a cop or something. You know, you can do whatever you want, really, in that sense. Oh. How does Civ make a living? Lots of different jobs, like the taco shop's a Civ job. So a lot of stuff like that, basically. There's a variety of different jobs that you can take as Civs. No, you tried to pick up the remaster of Resi 2. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah, that's it. You can mine, gold pan, different food places, you know. You need to get your car and shit, so you need to MP. You can get cars on finance as well when you don't have much dough. Oh, I'm going over this way. Think of it as moving to Los Santos with some savings. Yeah. Yeah, you start with like 10G as well. Fishing's a good one, yeah, for sure, yeah. Cheap car too, yeah. That's it, yeah, the cars are fairly cheap. I actually need a piss. Okay, we're going to pause it for a second so I can do a quick piss. But I'll bring up the giveaway screen. Which is going to be over here once I've loaded it.